Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. So, this is the third My Big Fat Greek Wedding movie. The first came out in 2002, over 20 years ago. It was like this small little indie movie. And one would think, oh, it won't really go anywhere. It'll probably make like a couple $1,000,000, and that's it. That's what you would think. That is not what happened. Not in the slightest. Because this movie did insane. Absolutely ridiculous. It made over 241 million domestic, over well over 300 million worldwide. And its overall run is just pure madness because this did not have a normal run at all, because it started out limited, but then for some reason it just kept playing and playing forever and ever and ever. I mean, look at this. Scrolling months, almost a damn year. It's just like, look at this. It's ridiculous. It is so hard to explain. Like, Top Gun Maverick couldn't do this. Okay, that couldn't even last 6 months. And movies like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and Greatest Showman and Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, those lasted like 3 months max. But this lasted like almost a damn year. And I don't get it because it's not like this movie was like this groundbreaking movie. It's not like this absolute like classic. People just saw it and like, that was good, and then that was it. So I don't understand how it did as well as it did. I don't think anyone can really explain it well. But it was a mega, mega, mega hit on a budget of like 5 million. Like, $5 million. Like, that's, yeah, insane profit out of that. So, so that was the first movie. Just absolute, just stunned everyone with its box office. Probably the standout movie of 2002 besides the original Spider-Man. And one would think that would be it. It would be like a one and done movie and then it'd be over. But I guess someone out there decided, no, the story must go on. And in 2016, we got the sequel that no one really asked for at all, but we got anyway because that's just what happens sometimes. So, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 came out. It was like March 2016. It was the same weekend as Batman v Superman. So that's kind of wild to think about. But yeah, so no one on planet Earth thought this movie would even come relatively close to the original's box office. No one thought it would be possible. And it was not possible because this movie, like, compared to the first one, it did horrible. It only made like a fourth of the first movie's box office. That's awful worldwide. But on its own merits, in isolation, it still did fine for itself. Opened with like 17 million, made like 59 million domestic, 92 million worldwide on a budget of 18 million. That's not a bad haul. Like, it's not a failure or anything. So, yeah, I mean, compared to the first movie, it's abysmal, but by itself, it looks quite all right. Especially considering the fact that it's a very, very, very unnecessary sequel. And here we are with the third movie, like 7 years after the second one. So yeah, so the first My Big Fat Greek Wedding movie, insane hit. The second one, it was a steep drop from the first movie to the second, but the second movie still made a decent amount of cash at the end of the day. So yeah, I would definitely say the success of the first two movies, I would label that as a pro. So that's pro number one. Pro number two, there's a severe lack of direct competition out there. This movie's obviously aiming a bit more towards I guess, the more female centric audience. And you have Barbie, but that is old news. That's like a month and a half old. It's already hit like digital or it will hit digital like real soon. So that's old news. Everything else is just the target audience is just not, they're not going to care about this. Okay. All those movies, all their target audiences, they do not want to watch this. So, and there won't be any direct competition. At least I don't think so. Till, uh, I don't even know. I don't think there's anything. I guess the closest thing I got is Haunting in Venice, but that's a stretch. Um, so there's really no direct competition at all. So I mean, that's a positive. So that's a pro. And I think that is it. I can't think of any other positives. So let's get to the negatives. Let's get to the cons. All right. So the main thing about this movie is just it's one of those movies that just make you ask, why? Why is this happening? Why was this made? Why? Like who? Just why? Who wanted this? Like this my big fat Greek wedding too. That was already unnecessary enough, but this is pushing it even further. Like, who wanted this to be a trilogy? Who out there decided this needs three movies? Like, I seriously want to know, because there was no demand for a sequel, any sequel to my big fat Greek wedding. Maybe like after the first one came out, but then after a while, people just gave up. They're just like, nah, we don't need that anymore. But then, but then it's like, let's wait like well over a decade to make the second one, and wait almost a decade to make the next one. Why would you do that? It makes no sense at all. It's just like I guess the Nun 2 is kind of a similar case where it's a sequel that should not have existed, that never needed to exist, but it existed anyway because for money, and that's really it. It's a cash grab. That's exactly what this is, an absolute cash grab. So, yeah, so this movie's cash grab status, I'm labeling that as a negative, as a big old con, because it just is. So, this movie's whole existence is a con, honestly. So that's con number one. Con number two are the reviews, which are not good at all. It's a 28% critic score. That's not going to get anyone to go see it. Its audience score is better at 74%, but that's still not great. Ideally, you want your number to be like in the 90s with that. And then cinema score, oof, it got a B, which is, this is not a score you want to get, because a B cinema score really screams mid. Like the movie is hella mid, or that target audience think it's hella mid, and that's deadly. That will kill a movie real fast. And even compared to like the second movie, that got an A minus. So quality wise, there's a big dip between 2 and 3. So the all the scores, critic score, audience score, cinema score, none of them are good. None of them are particularly good. So that's a negative. That's a con. So that's two cons. I guess another con is that the advertising for this, like, I haven't seen anything. I haven't even seen any YouTube ads. I've seen nothing. It's really pitiful. I mean, it's as I guess maybe it's just me that I haven't been seeing these ads. I'm pretty sure probably some other people have been seeing these ads, but I've seen nothing out of this movie. I've seen like no major marketing, like no hard push for it. So I'm labeling that as a con. So that's con number three. And then con number four, no, yeah, con number four is the fact that there are a lot of movies out right now. Really, there's only like a few that are making substantial business. You know, Equalizer 3 and The Nun 2. But, you know, everything else, I mean, you have so many other options. Do you really want to watch this? I don't think this is going to be like anyone's first choice. Okay. I feel like most people would rather watch Barbie for like the fifth time than watch this. So, yeah, so just general competition. Not to mention the rest of September is very ruthless. Like the next 2 weeks aren't too bad, but that final week, oof, you got four movies coming out at once. And those four movies are all gonna fight for screens, and they're gonna just take away all those screens of the older movies, and it's gonna be a hot mess. So yeah, just competition now, competition in the future. It's not good for this. So that's another con. And are there any other cons? I think that's it. Oh no, it's Thursday previews. They're not very good. 550K. I mean, obviously you can't. This isn't like a big, like, fan fueled movie where all like fans are gonna drive the movie to do like crazy numbers in Thursday previews. This isn't that. I'm well aware of that. But even compared to the last one, that had a Thursday preview of 1 million. And keep in mind, that went head to head with Batman v Superman, a movie that had an 80 million opening day and 166 million opening weekend. So, so comparison, like just looking at it, it's my big fat Greek wedding 3. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. This is going up against the Nun 2, which isn't even doing that well to begin with. So that looks real weak. And I'm trying to think is another one. I guess Book Club. Book Club 2. That is the ideal comparison here. Because Book Club 2, that's another sequel that never needed to happen. And it's also targeting like the older female demographic. That a Thursday preview of 550K. Wow. Exactly that. And it only reached like 6 million. It only got there because of Mother's Day. If it didn't, it would have only made like 5 million opening weekend. So that's a very negative sign. So yeah. Thursday preview's bad. So that's a con. And that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So opening weekend, well, I know for a fact this will not reach the second movie. I mean, the second movie was fueled by Easter anyway, so it's not exactly a fair comparison. But still, like, it has no shot at beating that. Now, Book Club 2, that is a perfect comparison. That 6.6 million, which again was mainly fueled by Mother's Day. This doesn't have Mother's Day. This doesn't have any holiday to really boost it. So, but Book Club, 6.6. I feel like my Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 may reach, like, I don't know, 5 to 7 million opening weekend. I think that's realistic enough, which is absolutely pitiful in comparison to the sequel. Like this, and in its final total, I don't know, like 20 to 30. If it's real lucky, probably in the 20s. Because I mean, goddamn, what a fall off from like the first movie to the third movie. Like if my Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 only makes like 20 some $1 million, that's a drop of like 90% from the first to the third. That is that is crazy to think about. So yeah. So that's my Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. So we got one more movie to talk about this weekend, and that's of course The Nun 2. I'm gonna be talking about that like once I finish recording this video, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. You want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage, all previous prediction videos I've done on the channel. I've done like all the ones that I've done this year or the past few years. If you want to watch any of them, go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I covered this movie one time only. It was episode 178. Yes, 178. I talked about it alongside The Marvels and Haunted Mansion. And like this is when it got like its release date, and it never moved. It stuck to September. So yeah, talked about that one episode. I've now made 205 episodes of canceled, including like the one that I made like this week. So you want to watch any of those episodes, you want to binge them all from beginning to now, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to do that. Go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. I just did the August recap like 2 days ago. I don't remember. But it was like I just did it. It's on the channel if you want to watch that. The September recap, that will probably come out around like the first week before the Eras Tour movie concert thing. Before that debuts, yeah, I should have that video ready by then. And then my summer recap, my three-parter, that'll probably come out probably at the end of September. I would imagine be like the end of September. And that's going to be a long confusing process because some of these movies their fates aren't sealed yet. Well, some of these movies definitely their fates are sealed, but I have to like classify like what's like a hit, what's not a hit. It gets a little murky. So that's going to take some time, but it should come out in September. I'll tell you that much. It'll come out September, all three videos. So you want to watch those. So stay tuned for all those videos. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.